What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining us on the show today. I'm relaxed. I'm not in a certain time today. It's going to be just a relaxed conversation. Now, tomorrow, about 9 a.m., if it still goes down, we're supposed to have someone come on about 9 a.m. That's going to be an interesting conversation with this other young lady. But outside of that, so make sure to kind of look out if we do a live stream tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. or so Central Time, possibly. But I was eating with my family today, right? We were sitting there eating, and my daughter points out, and she says, "Hey, look at that girl." And I mean to tell you, this girl had her shorts on, and literally you see this girl's butt cheeks out while she's walking. That I'm like, really? And she's walking with a dude. I would not ever walk around with a female that's dressed like that. I'm like, how would you feel that's okay to walk out in public? All right, my brother. I got you. Big Sap, help me out, brother. Anyway, this chick walking around with her booty cheeks out. I shook my head. I said, "Oh, nasty female, man." I said, these people's day in society have no chill. They act like savages. It gets summertime, it get hot, and you go to wearing no clothes. That's why sometimes I wish to stay winter year round. I wish it did, because it keep you clothed up. It really doesn't. What's her skin tone? I mean, it don't matter, but she was a Caucasian female. But, she won't be the only one. She definitely won't be the last. I can say that much. All right. Let's get it. So today, the title, Dear Caucasians, we need to chat about this platform. Now, the reason why we're doing Dear Caucasians, we need to chat about this platform, I get a lot of messages, comments, emails, Facebook, Twitter, and follow me on Twitter. I need you guys to go follow me on Twitter at theadviseshow media. If you have a chance and you're watching, go over there and follow us. We need to get our Twitter followers up for sure. But outside of that, they're always telling me what I should be doing, shouldn't be doing, having conversations. So I wanted to say, you know what, let me address them once and for all, so they know who I'm talking to, who I'm referring to, why I'm saying certain things, and so on. But let's put out this disclaimer first. If you are a Caucasian person and you have never been or never prescribed to be a racist person or a person that's discriminatory, you don't support police beating and killing unarmed people, you think it's wrong what happens in society to other groups of people, you may be that kind of person that, and some white people have told me this in the past, that they can't stand what other Caucasians do because it makes them look bad. If you that kind of Caucasian person, then nothing I'm saying is directed at you at all. I'm not speaking to you whatsoever. Because the majority of people, at least in my community, just want to get along with people. But unfortunately, they don't want to get along with us. And I know, and I've said this before, I've met some really decent Caucasian people, male and female, in my lifetime. And they've been about real as hell to me. And I can't say nothing bad about them. When I meet them, I like to meet them. I said, I wish the majority of your group was you or thought like you. And I think America would be such a better place for everybody. And unfortunately, they attack those people in their own community because they want them to have this thought process that you must be on team Caucasian supremacy, just like the NRA ad. That was also a call to people like that. You better stop siding with black people and whoever else you're siding with. You better get on team Caucasian supremacy, or we're going to target you too, which if you do the research, on the lynchings of the Ku Klux Klan, a lot of Caucasians that sided with civil rights or black people in particular, let's say even Caucasian Republicans, they were the ones that was lynched when it comes to whites. And if you do, they was done actually by Democrats, because Democrats is the party of the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, I did a lot of research into that. And that same party today really just morphed itself into something else. It's not for black people at all, but that's beside the point of what we're talking about today. But who I am talking to is that group outside of the people I just described. And it's kind of 7 points that I kind of wrote down for those people who feel that they should have some sort of voice or say so or whatever over here. So this is the first point I wanted to make. Number one, I don't work for you. I want to make that clear. I don't work for nobody, actually. You don't tell me what stories to post. You don't tell me the time period I should be doing it in, early, late, if it's a new story, old story. You don't tell me what topics I should be talking about or anything, because you aren't paying anything for me here. You're not supporting it in that fashion to have some sort of say so. So since I don't work for you, it's based off of what I choose to do, which is best maybe for that day based upon my personal time, trying to fit everything in. What is the most strategic message that I can do for the day? So your request is not something I want to listen to unless it's asked in a certain way. But the people who ask the right way are the people that I spoke about in the beginning in a disclaimer, not really you. Now, the influx of a lot of the trolls who are alt-right and Caucasian supremacist terrorists, they came to this channel about 70,000 subscribers ago. I'm going to say, when I got about 70,000 subscribers, I noticed the tone and conversations start really switching from more what we were talking about to them inflooding the comments and starting arguments and trying to pose themselves as black people. Because, you know, if they tell you, well, I agree with the police and I'm black, always when you hear them say I'm black, never believe that. Because a black person that talk, I've never heard them say, and I'm black. They never say that. So that's just like one giveaway. It's a troll speaking to you. Now, number two, this is number two. You own the majority of the media and you are greedy as hell. Now, I'm not saying you personally, but your group owns the majority of the media. Why do you want to come over here and own this one too? Or can dictate or control will try to come over here? Why? I don't get it. You have MSNBC, you have Fox News Channel, you have what's all the rest of them channels? NBC, CBS, any entity is all you. You even have BET. You own that. That's how deep you go with it. The only one you don't own is TV One. That's owned by Urban One. They changed it from Radio One to Urban One. Well, other than that, you own it all. So why is it that you're so greedy that you want to come in and take over a platform or demand a platform to start speaking what you think they should speak? When you have multiple platforms, websites, magazines, all these things that you own. So don't you think it's a little bit greedy on your part to try to come and dictate something? First of all, that you're not really supporting financially. And do you really dictate to Fox News what they post, or do you dictate to NBC, ABC, or whatever? Do you dictate to them? You probably don't. So why wouldn't you treat us the same? And that's something that's owned by your own people. So the only thing I'm saying about that. Now, number three, why are you interested in black crime, but not interested in Caucasian crime? That's something I always wanted to ask, because a lot of them come here and say, why aren't you posting about black on black crime? Why aren't you posting about black on white crime? So my question is, why do you care? You don't live in a black community. The only people should be caring about the crime in the black community should be black people, since they live there and some of them may have some issues with crime. They should care about that. Why do you care? Why are you so obsessed with finding out what black people are doing, even in the area of crime? Why? Why are you interested in the 84% of the Caucasian people that suffered at the hands of another Caucasian in the area of crime? Why aren't you interested in finding out why Caucasian males are dying off at an alarming rate, middle-aged Caucasian males? Why aren't you interested in stories that says this heroin epidemic, and you moved on to fentanyl, which is 50 times more powerful than heroin, suicide, this epidemic of rape in your community, the arrest is through the roof at 68%. And your media that you own don't say a word. So you say skip all that stuff. Don't talk about all the pedophilia. Don't talk about all the human trafficking. Don't talk about all the drinking and driving and all other things. Don't talk about none of that. Just focus on black crime. It doesn't make sense. Notice something. Most black people aren't focused on your issues. We really not. Only time we focus on your issues is when it relates to us. If all of a sudden that you never did anything, you just kind of stayed away from black people, mind your own business, and we all did our thing, I would never say a word. Why? Because you're not doing anything, at least to us. So why would I say a word about what you got going on? I feel personally that I'm not in your community, so certain things I shouldn't be even articulating sometime. And if I do articulate it now, it's to point out the double standard that happens in relation to us. But what happens in your community, I think that's something you should address, not really me. So I'm not going to champion that cause when I don't know the inner working of that cause, but I know the inner workings of my community. So I try to focus on that. But the thing is, it's kind of like what the Bible teach, that why are you trying to take the plank out of your brother's eye, but not trying to take the plank out of your own eye? Take the plank out of your own eye. In other words, your suicide, your heroin, your fentanyl, your crystal meth, your rape, pedophilia, so and so on, police, etc. Deal with that. Take that out your eye first. Then you can see into my eye and the black community's eye and take ours out, because you have a blinded foresight. And I understand why you do it. I get it. Because your identity is related to the rise and fall of black people. If you feel that black people are doing so horrible, which the crime stories gives you that feeling of, oh, I'm so much better than them. But if you see black people doing well, black people creating businesses, black people having their own voice, platforms, black people just doing a lot of things for themselves, then that's when the problems initially start. And you have always historically had a problem with black people doing for themselves outside of you. Always started with race riots, burning down over 60 black towns. I was just reading about the Opelousas massacre. I was reading about that today, where you have 200 to 300 black people was killed for trying to vote in Opelousas, Louisiana. You came up with laws like the Negro Act, didn't want us to gather together in one spot, even though that's not a law today. But yet notice on jobs, they don't want black people gathering together. Or anytime we gather together, oh, what they doing? What, like we planning the next freaking revolution. Things like that. What I'm saying is, when it comes to black crime, it's so bad now that I had a conversation with the people on Patreon. And if you're not following us on Patreon, we still need people to help us get to our goal It's minimum $2 or $5 per month. But the thing is, I asked them about those stories. I would like to really start going back to addressing some of those stories. Some people say, look, we got the mainstream media, which is the Caucasian media, talking about that every day. We want to hear about the stories that most of us don't know about. We want to hear your take on those and not really so much the crime. Then some people may say, well, I'd rather hear your take on it because you're a black person, you understand the inner workings of all that versus them saying things. We can't have a proper conversation without you trolling. So if we start that, we're going to have to go to comment approval. Comment approval. Brother. I'm trying to read this comment. They said, comment approval is something that we may have to go to, or just no comments at all on those stories to keep the trolls off. It's nothing against you guys. It's just, now if we have to double upload that video, maybe one to Patreon, and you guys want to comment freely there, in which on Patreon you can definitely comment troll free. A lot of people like that. You can have so much conversation back and forth. You could talk about maybe solutions or whatever on Patreon. It's great. It's no trolls at all. Yes, I've had a few of them kind of filter in here and there. But we get rid of them because, yeah, some of them will pay to troll. They would do that. It amazes me, but they do that from time to time. The next thing I want to address is this comment they kept leaving, and I want to explain this for sure so they can understand it. They say that I used to like his videos up until recent times. I don't know if some of you have seen those comments. Well, case in, at the end of the day, that's kind of like our decision. Whether we shut comments off, censor them. At the end of the day, I don't want an environment of trolls. And it's on me if I want to do that or not. I mean, a comment section don't have to be open on any video. If I say, okay, well, you want to comment, just do it on Patreon, I can say that too. It's just that simple. Anyway, they used to say that they liked my videos until recent times. So what they used to like was this. When I would make videos about crime in the black community, and I would talk about thugs and wild hyena hood rats, they loved that. They loved that every day. Now, one sister told me something, and I heard this, but she really put it home. She said that she actually found out about my channel through a terrorist, a radical Caucasian terrorist. And the terrorist told this sister that he would like watching my videos at that time period because it would give him, you know, his, make him feel good for the day to look at crime in the black community. That's a very sick individual. I cannot get up every day to go look for crime, what Caucasians are doing, to make myself feel better. But it goes back to what I was saying earlier. This system was set up and based off of what the black person is doing in this country and how they feel. And that's, like I say, it's a very, very sick mentality. But they say they don't like my current videos. I'm going to tell you what happened, why my videos changed. In about 2015 or so, me and Lovely T had a conversation. And we talked about going to Washington, D.C. to cover the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. And prior to us going to do that, I started doing a lot of research myself on Minister Louis Farrakhan. I started looking, I've heard of him. I've seen quotes of him. I've seen him here and there. But I really wanted to look into him and watch what he had to say and see what Khalid Muhammad was saying. And Elijah Muhammad and all these different people. I just started really watching and listening to what they were saying. And I would just sit back and I was like, man, these brothers are right. You know what I'm saying? I may not agree with, you know, certain things they believe in their religion. I said, but these brothers are right. I mean, they spot on. I mean, all the things they were saying, it was just spot on. And I said, man, this is crazy. And then I used to see like, you know, how Minister Farrakhan just when he say certain things, he commands certain attention from people. And I was just shaking my head. I say, man, this dude, he the truth. So I saw that how the black community respected him. And I say, you know, it's hard for black people to respect you like that. It's really hard because they really don't. Man, black people respect you, man, you got it. That's all I'm saying, because you don't get the respect of the black community too easily. So we covered that, me and T. And when I was there, we had a really good time being there, but it was work. We had a brother that got us into all the different events that they had so we can cover it. He even got us good seats right on the Capitol steps, you you look around, all these, and I got pictures of it. I'm pretty sure some of you seen it on Instagram. Well, some of the celebrities are sitting right around us. It was good seats right there. But outside of that, I saw the unification of all the people that came. You had of course, the brothers and sisters there. And you had the brothers and sisters there. You had Native Americans there. I seen Hispanics there. A few here and there, maybe a few white people. It was far and few in between. But that whole weekend was something I never even experienced before. I never felt a unity with black people like that before. And I was telling T that, and we was agreeing, and then Ms. Gabriella was there. We was talking about different things with that, and just how everybody was just so unified, and how everybody was just getting along, and how it was just, it felt like a euphoria. I mean, like, if y'all could have felt what I felt that weekend of watching black people unify like that, I said, man, if we had this every day, this is better than a drug. This is better than any drug, the unity of black people. And I didn't want that to end. It's the unification of black people, because you never see that. We fight over the most stupid things that we fight over in our community: religion, politics. Well, I mean, we get involved with stupidity. Why we involving ourselves with Democrat and Republican when both of them don't like us? No way. We arguing about it, right? So after that, I said, when I come back to Houston, when I get back home, I said, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to find out who all the brothers and sisters are in Houston who's out there doing the work. And that's how I ended up meeting, first it was Brother Jesse, then Brother Derek. That's how I met Brother Derek right after the fact. And I met Brother Derek. He said he had saw me before, so and I saw him on TV so many times. So it was kind of cool to say you kind of saw each other already, but didn't really hook up. And then after that, I met Sister Sadia. I started meeting all the brothers of the Panthers here in Houston, Brother Yakanan and all his crew, Sister Crystal and her crew, and there's many other good people that's trying to help out in the community. I know my position is not the activist. That's not my position. My position is the media guy. And I can use my position to do a lot, because the media guy or media lady has a direct influence daily on the minds of the people. So that's my part, being the watchman and letting you know what's going on, and then let you take the information and see what you want to do with that information to help the community. So as my mind and even my wife was there the whole time, and she's a big fan of Minister Farrakhan. The Native Americans that was there really impressed me a lot, and just hearing their stories and how they really can't stand these folks. They can't. It was amazing to hear them talk like that. It's like, we not the only one. Trust me, when I got to talking to them, but we just, me and her had like a 180 completely in our mindset about a lot of things. Both our eyes was open to a whole lot more when we came back from that. So I said, you know what? Maybe I need to start looking at what's really causing the problems in the black community in the bigger sense, and stop focusing so much on the symptoms, and to really focus on the problem and what's causing the problems within the black community. So that's when my message started to change from focusing just on what we do to focus on what's really causing that. What's been the cause of these problems since 1619 when 20 of us arrived on the shore of Virginia. That's what I started to look more into. And as I look more and more into that, and I start really going deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole, I didn't realize how evil and ugly things have been in this country. I was very upset that I was miseducated. That was the first thing that happened to me. I was very upset. I was upset that I sat in school all those years. I was getting up to go to school, tired, don't want to go to school, sometimes bored with it. And the whole time I'm being miseducated. I didn't learn crap about America. I learned a indoctrination. And this indoctrination, it wasn't just to me. It's to all kids, not just the black kids. They indoctrinate the white kids, the Hispanic kids, the Asian kids. They indoctrinate us into believing a lie. When I really learned about Christopher Columbus, I said, you mean to tell me that they had me in school coloring the 3 ships that savage came over here with, and coloring his picture and doing plays about Christopher Columbus and singing songs about him when he came over to the Caribbean, raped, enslaved, wiped out a group of people literally that just nice to him. Those people was nice to him, wanted to share their goods with him, and he just slaughtered them all, enslaved them, did the most horrible things to them, so much so that he went back to Spain in chains. But yet we are teaching children, including myself, that he was just a great guy that discovered America, Columbus Day. Yay. Go America. I mean, I was just disgusted. When I started learning really more about Dr. King, I was even more disgusted, not about Dr. King himself, but about the education I got on Dr. King. I never really heard some speeches that he gave because they don't want you to see that. All they want you to hear is, I have a dream. And that's why these people say, if you guys would be more like Dr. King, maybe, like, they are the last people I want to hear about it when you put a bullet in this man. You shot this man with we did the research on it recently, a 30-06 bullet. Okay? That's a huge round. They blame, what's his name? James Earl Ray. They blame for King. James Earl Ray didn't kill that man. They blamed James Earl Ray. He was innocent and he was blamed. We all know this. The military killed King because that kind of bullet shooting from that distance, 1 kill shot. Come on, James Earl Ray didn't do that. They didn't. He was the fall guy. Just like Lee Harvey Oswald. He didn't kill JFK. He was the fall guy. Because the thing is, they don't mind putting Caucasians on the chopping block. They don't care to fit the agenda. And even when James Earl Ray told Martin Luther King's son, you know, I didn't kill your father. And I remember that video where he said, you know, I forgive you. I believe you. And he didn't have no malice toward him. Because I didn't, when I saw that video, I said, man, that man didn't kill King. He didn't. There ain't no way. I said, King was way too powerful. They had to get rid of him. The same thing with Malcolm. Malcolm's whole detail that he had was infiltrated with FBI. So they say, oh, these black dudes kill Malcolm. Man, it was them folks. They had their hands in it. Because as the witnesses say, there were 3 shooters, but only 2 got picked up. What happened to the 3rd one? But they don't want to touch about that. Everything I learned, you know, I remember they would talk about the Black Panthers here and there. And they made the Black Panthers seem to be the most evil and vile people. Yet, if it wouldn't been for the Black Panthers, we wouldn't have a school lunch program for breakfast because that came from them. All these things that we do in this country, a lot of it comes from black people. Memorial Day came from black people. They didn't teach us that former slaves got together and wanted to honor the Union soldiers for helping free them. So they created Memorial Day. They took it and say, okay, yeah, it's Memorial Day, like we created it. Didn't teach us that in school. To give honor to the brothers and sisters for starting Memorial Day. Just gross miseducation. So I was very angry about my education. And I said that I will not allow my children to be miseducated. I think education should be a daily thing for our children within our community. So being upset about that, constantly being upset about watching the double standard. The double standard in this country is amazing. A Caucasian could rape an infant and get probation. I've done the stories. That's the thing. They could kidnap children, chain them up. They can get slap on the wrist. They can rape women. They can kill people. Slap on the wrist. But let a black person, have some marijuana. They gone 30 years. I just seen a video of this black girl that they arrested her for carjacking and I think some sort of robbery or something. They ended up giving her, I think, 35 years or so, first time offense, because she was caught up with the wrong type of guy, thug guy, but 35 years. But then you see Caucasian females come in court and they feel sorry for them. They cry, they all that, and they give them a slap on the wrist. I mean, the complete double standard. Yes, that contributes to the anger. You start doing the research in hiring practices. How if you have a black sounding name, you get reduced to 50% on your callback. You watch studies that you have a black woman that have an impeccable resume, can't get callbacks. Change her name on the same resume and nothing but calls. That kind of stuff can anger you. Then in the process of watching all the things in history that has happened to black people, then you have Caucasians today say, why are you guys complaining about it? That even infuriates black people even more, because not only that you cool with double standards, you cool with the oppression, you cool with victimization, you cool with all this, but you don't want black people to say nothing about it. But the first time something happened to you, you crying crocodile tears for everything. If somebody don't like you, you crying. If somebody say we need to separate from you, you crying. Just separation. You don't like your feelings hurt. Forget doing some violent stuff. You don't like your feelings hurt. You don't like in today that more people are really against you. You don't like that. You say that you're victims now because people don't like you as much. This is what you say. I wish that was my problem, that people just didn't like me, but they didn't put a hand on me. They couldn't take my jobs away, or they couldn't sit up there and kill my family, wholesale and get away with it. I just wish that was my problem, that people didn't like me. I can deal with that. That's a no-brainer. I think most black people would say the same thing outside of myself. So as I have done the stories over the years since then, and watching y'all reaction, giving Darren Wilson, hundreds and thousands of dollars for the Mike Brown situation. Watch how y'all acted with that. Okay. Watch the situation with Trayvon Martin and how y'all gave all this money to George Zimmerman, how y'all supported him, how he was a victim for killing somebody, especially when the 911 operator told him, look, the police coming, we got it. Supported him anyway. George Zimmerman was the initiator of that confrontation. And yet Fox News put him up there and just put him up there as a victim. I watched the Trayvon Martin case. I watched the prosecutors literally throw that case. They were literally throwing it. I watched them. They didn't say anything of objections. They did a horrible job on cross-examination. I say, these people are throwing this case. I watched it. And I watched the George Zimmerman lawyers. They was looking like, dog, they're not going to say nothing. I kept looking at them, had their looks in their face. They were throwing the case for George Zimmerman. And then you start throwing cases, people start getting off, and then what sparked up Black Lives Matter to get started. Okay. Black Lives Matter come into play. You're angry about the term Black Lives Matter. You're angry about it. Instead of saying, wow, maybe we need to rethink this a little bit. Why are they getting together and saying that? And then you got more and more angry about it. You want to, of course, counter it with this all lives matter stuff. Obviously, that's never been true, because 1619, when the first 20 African people arrived in Virginia here, Black lives never mattered. So you're angry about that. You want to call them terrorists. Martin Luther King said so many times that the riots are the language of the unheard, because you were letting these, either not charging these cops or just letting them off. And people with a lot of pent up frustration and upset. Some people wheeled in, outside people came in, took advantage. Caucasians came in and took advantage as well to do some thugging. They had thugging all over the place. Thugging and Neanderthugging. Just want to make sure you put that out there. But of course, the media is only going to focus on black people. They're not going to focus on nobody else. So you sit there and watch all this. You have Caucasians say they're destroying their own communities. Well, what community? You let everybody else come in our community. You give them business loans. You give the Asians business loans in our community, but you won't give black people business loans at the bank. You'll give these Arabs business loans, but you won't give black people business loans. They come set up shop in the black community, and then you want to say they're destroying their own communities. In order for it to be your own community, it means you have to own the businesses. Now, if at that time period, if black people own all the businesses, they own the CVS, own the McDonald's, own the dry cleaner, they own it all, and then they burned it down, then you would say, you know what? They are burning down their communities. They wouldn't burn it down crap because they didn't own it. So I just sat there and watched for so long, how this media and how the media is a fourth arm of the government. And I was never taught that, and they don't write that down, but they are the fourth arm of the government. They're the propaganda wing of the government. It just makes you say, you know what? My eyes are open. I see for what it is. It's when you finally see it, it's like you're like shocked that you didn't see it this long. It's been operating like this ever since you've been born on the earth. So it made me say, you know what? I need to give a voice to people within my community and tell the stories that the media is hiding, and share how we feel. Because a lot of people can't say the things I say and go to work Monday. Their job be gone. There's a lot of people feel like me and would love to get on camera and say the things I say, but they have to be careful because they have to feed their families. And I understand that, because I know how a lot of the Caucasian owned businesses are. Oh, you speak up about something that's the truth and you're fired. So they have to hold back. So that's what happened to me. Since you want to know, you're curious about that. That's what happened to me. And when your eyes are open to these things, you can't close them again. You really can't. Now, if I choose to talk about crime in my community, I'm talking about it from a eye-opening sense, not a closed-eye sense. And I'm speaking because I care, because I don't want black people harming black people, because as I stated before, I believe we need a mass separation in our community. The those who want to be agents of Caucasian supremacy, which is the thugs, because if you're killing black people, I don't want you. The hood rats, don't want them either. All I want is black men and black women to build something with. Period. You can't save everybody. You can't. And I understand that. So I believe in that separation, because the problem is we try to carry the wrong people with us, and that's what causes us trouble. And at times we defend the wrong people. And I've done that too at times. But I've learned over time you can't defend everybody, because some people, you have to kind of wait for things to come out. That's why some of y'all are telling me about certain stories. Phil, talk about it today. Look, I need to wait a few days. I need to see if that's what it is, because I'm not about to be double back and making retraction videos. I don't like doing that. So I'd rather wait a few days or make sure it's concrete on what I know, at least at that time period where I can go with it. So if you don't like the change, it's kind of like what Jay-Z has said, in what song? I think On to the Next One. What song was that he made? Because I actually heard his new album. Well, he's talking about if you want his old stuff, go buy his old albums. Same thing with me. If you want my old stuff, go watch my old videos. You don't have to watch the new ones. You can enjoy yourself with them. But as for the new stuff, my mind is, focused on that. My eyes are open. I have a lot of idea for projects, and I think it's going to be great if we can really get everything done. But, there's other people, I guess, on YouTube that you can watch. They'll give you your Caucasian supremacy fix. I'm not that guy. I'm just letting you know. Number 6. Speaking about racism offends you. If you're offended about racism, then it's one of two things I'm going to say about that. Either you are one of these racist or radical Caucasian terrorists or so on, or you a sympathizer. Now, I watched a short interview today by a Klansman, and he was in Mississippi, to be honest. He stated that for every one Klansman, there are 12 sympathizers. I thought that was very interesting, meaning that the majority in society agree with them. They may not wear the hoods. They may not burn the crosses. They may not join the police department under the guise of being a infiltrator, which the FBI has reported about this many times. But they agree with them or agree with Richard Spencer on those actions, maybe quietly. So if you have a problem in speaking about racism and it's blatant, I show you the videos, I show you the stories. If you have a problem with me telling black people don't put up with it, notice you don't put up with nobody messing with you. You always talking about self-defense. You're always talking about your gun rights. You're always talking about defending the country, defending this, defending that. Why is it that you don't want black people to defend themselves against criminals? Because anytime racism and somebody's bothering us, that's criminal. Black people should exercise their Second Amendment rights. Now we understand the NRA is a radical Caucasian terrorist group that's pushing propaganda for the low-hanging fruit in the Caucasian community. Now we understand that one sister, and I thank her for this, for educating me today, because I didn't even know this. I never looked into NRA like that. I didn't even know that one of the founders of the NRA was a Confederate soldier. That says a lot when she sent that to me today. So as black people, we should have no dealings with the NRA. We have our own gun clubs. So, I say Huey P. Newton Gun Club. You can talk to the brother at Black Guns Matter, which I'm going to try to see if we can reach out to that brother and bring him on for interview with Black Guns Matter, because we need to talk about our self-defense, because we are afraid for our lives. And since that's what the police use, and we have to start using that too. We're afraid of our lives. Every day we're looking up our kids getting gunned down on highways, like what happened in the news story I just put up. Kids getting beat up in lawns. I mean, we're going to start defending ourselves. I mean, we're just going to have to. And if Caucasians don't want to sell you a firearm, there are actually black gun dealers as well. Because I heard the brothers and sisters trying to buy firearms, these Caucasians are looking at them like, what you doing in here? That sort of thing. It's a lot of things that we're going to have to start doing, because revolution is also in the purse too. It's not just in the rah-rah talking. I was researching today, for instance, black-owned companies that offer wines or vodka, spirits, etc., right? And I was curious to know that. So I could possibly, if I want to drink something, support those companies and not support companies that don't benefit my community. And I heard Jay-Z say something today that was real cold. He said, you should always want, how you said, one billionaire is great, but two is even better, especially if he's the same hue as you. I said, oh, that's really, I like that. Because he was spitting a lot of gems in that 444 album. And if you don't have Tidal, get Tidal. And the moment I heard Jay-Z and them had Tidal, I joined because I said, you know what? I want a streaming service. I support Jay-Z and them. Why not? Jay-Z and them been doing a lot of work out there. That's y'all been telling me about the story of OJ. I heard that song 4 or 5 times, or maybe 6. And Jay-Z was dropping a lot of jewels in there, but Jay-Z was saying the same thing I talk about on this channel. He just put it to music. That's just about it. But it's a good song if you ever check it out. Okay. I was wondering who timed somebody out. Anyway, so talking about racism, if that, like I said, if that offends you, then it's not the channel for you. I think that you need to, I don't know, like I said, go watch the media that's owned by you that's not going to speak about racism. But unfortunately, this is not a talking point for me. This is not a talking point for black people. This is our lives that we're talking about. I wish it was just a talking point, like a debate about you for abortion or against it, that sort of thing. No, this is our lives we're talking about. This is our children we're talking about here. And unfortunately, the Caucasian community, they won't end racism. There's people that say they're against it, but you're not ending it. Because if you truly wanted to end it, you could. Since you are the alleged majority, you can end it. Today you can end it. But you choose not to because you benefit from it. Now, I guess it's kind of like grading your paper on the curve. No matter what, you're going to get the better grade because your grade is graded on the curve versus our grade is going to be whatever we earn and sabotaged about 30 points. So we get 100, we got a 70, no matter what. That's us right there. You getting a boost, we getting sabotaged. And every time think about it, all our leaders, think about that. All the leaders we had, you sabotaged them, you killed them. From Martin to Malcolm, Medgar Evers, the Black Panthers, they had to exile themselves to other countries. You jailed them. Anytime that we have somebody that's trying to stand up, this is what you do. And then you at the same time want us to have this just like undying love for you. And you want me to actually say that because I get comments, you're teaching black people to hate. I ain't teaching them crap. They do what they want to do. I'm telling them the story that's there. I'm telling them my opinion of that story and my personal feelings about that story. And then they make their own decisions what they want to do in their lives. I don't have power over black people like that to teach them anything. I don't. But they're not stupid. They see what's going on in their lives. They see. They're tired of it. They're tired of the double standards. They're tired of the BS. And they're not going to love you anymore. Of course, you're going to have your coons, and that's fine. But for the most part, they're not going to love you anymore. I know you're used to the slave, loving you forever. But even that, everything comes to an end. Everything. And every day they're waking up. Some of you come and say, in your comment section, I don't understand. They hate white people. I don't know what they got going on. All I can do is speak for me. But if they feel that way, why don't you ask them why you feel that way? I mean, I want to have just a conversation. What's the deal? And then some of you may say, well, I had nothing to do with it. You didn't have nothing to do with it. And nobody's blaming individual Caucasians for slavery or Jim Crow or anything. Nobody said, I don't even do that. But where the blame comes is you do nothing to end it. That's where the blame comes. So you really got kind of like a guilty by association. And any Caucasian people that have stood up and want to say something, I bring them on this show. I did it before. What's the lady? Samantha Gupta was her name, from White People for Black Lives. I brought her on. Now, some black people are leery about that, and she said that she understood that because Caucasians have always double-crossed black people. And what I liked about them is they was starting their own group. You don't need to be part of Black Lives Matter. Start your own group to do something. It's just that simple. But if you don't like hearing talk about racism and you supposedly not a racist, then why is it bothering you? That's the only thing I'm saying. If you're talking about people who steal, it doesn't bother me. Let's say if a black dude stole something, it doesn't bother me. I don't steal people's stuff. If you're talking about, oh, this black dude, he ain't took care of his kid, it doesn't bother me. I'm always with my kids. So why would I get mad? Only time I'm going to say something unless it's like this propaganda you're doing against black men, then I got a problem with that. Then I will speak up. But we talk about things, we show you every day what we're talking about. And you get angry about it. So if you get angry about it, this is not the place really for you. At least not anymore. At one point in time, you used to like the hyena videos and thug videos. Fine. But them days are over. And if I talk about them, you're not going to be able to comment on them. Because I'm going to shut the comments down. I'm letting you know that right now. You can watch it, and that's fine. But you're not going to comment. And the last thing I want to cover real quick before I look in this comment section. Now, let me look at it real quick. All right. Last one. You can't buy me. I'm going to put that out there. I understand very well the position I'm in, at least right now. And I know that those of you who I'm addressing would love to have me. I know you would. Trust me. I know you would. You would love for me to speak for you. I know that. I'm pretty sure I would be on Fox News and everything. And if I was really about the money, like some, and I say very ignorant black people would say to me about the money. If I was really about the money, that's what I'll be doing. Because trust me on this, the money is in the cooning. The money is never speaking up for black people. It's cooning. If you coon, you get all the money thrown at you in the world. The more you coon, the more you get. So it's not about money for me. Yes, we do need money to run. We do need money to operate. Yes. I won't take back what I say. I believe we should always get together in our community and support our own. Just like I was asking for people to support us on Patreon, I support people on Patreon too. Just as much as I ask people to donate to certain things, I donate to other black people's projects too. Why? Because I can't be speaking about empowering the community and I'm not empowering too. Because I believe the best empowerment is giving to projects and supporting others. So nobody can't say, well, Phil, he talk good game, but he don't do it. I buy black owned products much as I can to support black owned companies, because I want to make sure that I'm living what I'm saying in the area definitely of what I teach my children and definitely my finance. And I know that our only freedom is the unity and targeting of finance and making sure that we support our own. That's why at the time period when people was all up in arms about me and the Patreon situation, my thing is this: if you have the 3,000 patrons, you don't need YouTube at that point. You don't need them. They can do what they want to do. You can, no matter what they do, they shut down the page, whatever. You can just start another one or do some of your own websites or start other websites or whatever you got going on. Like, I don't need that. I'm good. I got everything because the people support me. That was the reason I was saying that. But really, the money's in the cooning. But even though the money's in the cooning, trust me, it is. It's out there. You can't buy me because it's my integrity. I don't want to die and my children see me as a coon. My children see me shucking and jiving for another group of people. I don't want my children to look at me like that. or the people to look at me that way. So buying me would mean you buying my silence or buy, because they try to offer money for this platform. And more than once, y'all don't get it. And I don't come out telling y'all that sort of thing. They want to buy this stuff from me, and I reject it. You know why they want to buy it? They want to buy it, give me money, and for me to just get on out of there and let them take over with the little bit that we have built here, so they can neutralize it. And trust me, they coming again. And when they come again, there's gonna be even more they're gonna offer to me. Probably more than I ever seen. And they're gonna see if I want to sell it then. Cause they rather buy you out. That's really what they rather do. And say, hey, it's this amount of money, and it's this, it's that. Oh, yes, yes, you're right. Lady of Soul 502 is on my Patreon. Exactly. If you was on Patreon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I go in detail from beginning to end how I was the situation. Put it like that. I tell the Patreon people what I'm dealing with, what's going on. I show them emails from certain people they send me. I don't hide nothing from them. I want them to know. That's why I was telling y'all that about that Patreon. And like I said, I'm trying to just let it just go on its own. But like I said, we got to a certain point and we started to say, okay, we'll start doing videos public again. And it's like kind of stopped there. It wasn't growing anymore. It's like, and I'm like, why you got to take drastic measures to do things? Like, it's like, so I say, you know what, let me put in the work. Let me just keep putting in more work. And then if I put in the work, maybe they'll see the value in that. But trust me, these people don't want us to have a voice. They don't. They don't like no videos talking about Neanderthals. Are you kidding me? They don't like that. They don't like you pointing. This is the thing. The light shining on them. No, that's not how it works. Exposing how they do things, how they say things, how they move. They don't like that. Come on now. That's the best way to operate in the shadows, in darkness. Now y'all have a voice to start shining a light on that stuff. Black people have never had an opportunity to have a voice like they have today. And not no Al Sharpton voice, no. Cause Al, he's bought and paid for. Trust me. But they don't want you to have a voice. Let me tell you something. I can tell who real black people are. They have black people that won't even come on this show because they're afraid of how I talk because it offends Caucasians. So when black people backing away from you because they say, oh, well, white people, they may not like this or like that. I'm like, okay, I guess. My attitude is we're going to keep working. I'm not going to focus on that. But if your name come up some way, somehow, I'm definitely call you out. I do business with anybody, of course, as long as you cordial, as long as you're a nice person, etc. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to turn my back on the community like that and just start cooning. It just, for money, I just can't do that. I can't. I don't know, Moxie. What do you mean? What can we do? I don't. I just looked at the thing. I don't know what you mean by what can we do. He said, should we name those that are scared? Don't bother me none. I don't care. I'm not going to call you names. Can I post videos to Patreon for 1 month? I could do that, but I rather I rather just like I said, I rather not go that route. I don't like that route. My thing is this: these folks want to come in, and that's why I said if we can just get our people on there $2 or $5 a month. I mean, $5 a month would be like 17 cents a day. I tried to put up daily content for you guys. I tried to. I put my neck out there on the line for you. I try to speak for you. I'm not saying I speak everything for you, but I try to speak for you. So you don't have to. So you don't have to get fired. You can still keep your job. And I want to keep giving you the information as much as possible. But we got to make sure to cover all bases. That's the only thing I'm saying. You haven't been noticing me saying about Patreon on videos either. I haven't been saying it. I ain't been mentioning it. I've been leaving just like a thumbed comment and stuff like that. But the thing is, when I got to the point about them people trying to buy me out, I said, look, I got to mention it now because it's been close to a month, but I have to mention it. I don't. These people don't need no chinks in my armor where they catch me at a weak point. We don't need that. Not here. Because I think we really could do something special here. I really think it could turn into something. Like I said, these trolls, they was here the moment I click on. So they waiting for my next video, even the trolls. So if the trolls are waiting and, the storm fronts and I would have to get. He said he also attacked. Yeah, I seen they attacking Tariq. Oh, they won't leave Tariq alone. Boy, they really mess with him, and I love to see it. I mean, shoot, he's handling it like a champ. Shoot, like I said, they messing with him. They love it, boy. I said if they messing with me like that, I'm gonna have fun with them, because I'm extremely petty with them, very very petty, But then sometimes some of them I may not respond to. It just has to be strategic with me. Because some of them, you start getting at them too much and then all of a sudden they start crying near the victim. But with that said, that's just the chat that I want to make sure to leave to the Caucasian people that's taking issue with the platform. And this is the only time I'm going to address that. And we want to leave it at that, really. Oh, no, Mariposa. I'm very, very petty when it comes to them. Not with the brothers and sisters, but with them being, if you're being racist toward me, then I'm going to be very petty back. Because I've learned with time, forgiving them don't work. All they understand is eye for an eye. You call me a name, I'm going to call you a name, probably worse. You insult me, I'm going to insult you probably 10 times worse. That's the only thing they understand. I understood that. Forgiveness just don't work. Trust me. I knew I was on to something when I started doing videos about stop forgiving them. I'm talking about racists now. Stop forgiving them. And how angry they was. That's not right. You should forgive. Like, wait a minute. Did I hit a soft spot? I said, oh boy, I said, don't let me catch a video y'all forgiving, because I'm going to go in on you because I don't want you forgiven. They don't want you to just, it seems like it's real sick. Like, I'm abusing you, but I want you to forgive me. And it's like, I can't feel good about myself doing this to you unless you forgive me. And I'm so glad that that a lot of that slave mentality that came from a lot of those church folks are really leaving the black community. That I'm glad of. Because a lot of the black preachers have screwed our heads up. Because if they really was like Christ, they would be out here fighting too. Like Dr. King, he was out here fighting. He didn't stay in the four walls of that church. That's right, Shalinda. Why offer forgiveness to someone that never asked to be forgiven? Well, I just don't care anymore. I'm at that point. I don't care. That's why I don't really care. I'm just at that point. I have to say, I mean, because if you're careful to say something, it doesn't work. You might as well go ahead and say something. Just like one person was saying the other day, well, Phil, why would you tell black people to practice their Second Amendment rights? I mean, wouldn't that cause more of a problem? I say, have you not seen how many unarmed black people been killed? It ain't working the other way. I'm just saying everybody have a right to defend themselves. I don't think nobody should go pick with people, commit crimes, anything. Nobody should be doing that. But I think why can't black people defend themselves? Why they always got to be the ones always at the bad end of the stick? Hey, and Sister Ajali about Fukushima. Hey, I even tell my family about that tuna and stuff like that. And like now the fish that I try to get, I don't try to get nothing from the West Coast. I make sure it's local here and wild caught because I don't want none of that radiation. And they're saying I didn't know nothing about Fukushima to you. So you talked to me about it. You shared it. And people should look into the Fukushima fallout, especially y'all on the West Coast. Y'all probably gonna get a lot of cancer. I'm warning y'all right now. It's cancer city about to come to y'all. If it's not there already, all the radiation that happened over there in Fukushima. I mean, it's off the charts, all the radiation that's emitting from over there. And all the dead fish. And I go to Radical Home Goddess channel. She talks about it better than me. I can't tell you about it. But yeah, go to her channel and check it out. But that's y'all need to kind of back. I don't know what to tell y'all about that state. You know, California's crazy on a good day. Well, it's okay to be unaware of what I talk about. That's fine. I'm unaware of a lot of things too, but I don't go to people's channels and tell them how to operate their channel. I don't tell them what topics they should talk about. I don't demand they talk about certain things. I'm like, either I like what I'm watching or I don't. I leave a comment or I don't. If I don't agree with, this is my model. If I can agree with at least 70% of what the person talk about on the average, I can deal with the 30% they talk about that I don't agree with. And if that ratio changes, then okay, I may kind of hold back on what I watch from them. And if it's just too much, I'll unsubscribe. But for the most part, I'm cool with people having difference of opinion. I'm good with that. I have to watch all sides, unfortunately, for what I do. I have to listen to what conservatives say. So I may have to turn on Patriot on XM just as much as I'll turn on Urban View. I have to listen to both sides. I'm going to have to go to racist websites and see what they're talking about just as much as going to black websites because I need to know what both sides are talking about. How are they talking about it on the racist websites? What they looking at? That's why, that's my animals. And my daughter just walked in the house, and I have a little dog that, like, she just barks, bark, 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 bark. She won't stop barking. I say, but that's a good thing that she barks. I'll give her that. It's a good thing that she barks, because she let me know if somebody's in the street coming in, you know. And I have my other dog. He's another one. He'll tear something down too. But yeah. Hey, I got dogs. They do that. You can't control that. No, it's not a Chihuahua. It's a King Charles Spaniel. I was given that one years ago, maybe about almost a year after we got married, me and my wife. And then maybe about a year or so ago, I got back with I got a Border Collie. What did you say? Moving back? Really? Moving back to the? Well, y'all tripping out on that. No, the dogs wouldn't let out. The dogs are in their area. Dude, Bruh, okay, you didn't make that message. Like, now I'm almost getting tired of seeing that message. I mod people that I choose to. You can't ask me to be a mod. If you asking me, I'm not gonna do it. Well, you say is Tupac my favorite? I like Tupac. I mean, but I like more so with Tupac. Not so much the music, but if you actually listen to a lot of his interviews, just take time to watch his interviews. Man, Tupac was on it. I mean, they kind of had to get at Tupac if you think about it. Tupac, if you'd have let Tupac live, Tupac would have started some revolution. I really believe he would have. I think he would, because he was that. You gotta understand, he grew up, with a lot of Panther teachings, and the brother was very smart. So them folks had to catch him up. Like, I was hearing him talk about when they had charged him with that rape case, and he was saying that how he said, "Look, you charging only me," he said, "with rape. You had other dudes that was there with me participating in the same thing." He said, "I'm not snitching or nothing." He said, "But come on, only me and everybody else did it." He said, I don't get that. Then he talked about when they asked him about guns. It was so great what he said about guns. He said, y'all be talking about Second Amendment and self-defense, but when a black man have a gun, it's a problem. What about our self-defense? And he was going in on that. And I said, man, this brother here, this young brother is just very smart. When I used to watch a lot of his stuff, and even I watch it to this day, the things that he talked about back then apply to today. So yeah, about Pac, I like Pac. I do. I'm still thinking about them idiots, Kendall and Kylie, putting their face over Tupac and Biggie's image. Boy, I can't stand them two. I can't stand them two to save my life. I mean, I've never seen them. Look, put it like this. Somebody pointed something out to me and I didn't look at it. I said, "Oh, let me go back and see this." In the Tupac video, I Get Around, right? He didn't have not one Caucasian female in that video. And I remember back in the day, I started remembering all those videos. They had no Caucasian females or no other group of females in the videos, whether R&B or rap. It was nothing but black women. And I remember at one point in time that black women would complain about it and say, "Oh, they're putting all us in the videos and it making us look like hoes." And then all of a sudden you start seeing Caucasian women filter in, different groups of women filter in these videos. And all of a sudden got to a point that no black women was in the videos. You may see one black woman in the video, but none is around. I said, wow. So I said, things changed like that much. Then you have today, what's that guy that's walking around with that girl, Kylie? What's his name? Y'all know her? Travis, what's his name? Travis, whatever. I don't know. Black dude looks, I don't know, whatever. He looked like a clone of Young Thug to me, that she walking around with. Well, when you're talking about Mexicans, it's Mexicans is a nationality. Now, it's three different groups that make them up, though. You have your white, Hispanic, of course, we know about that, but most of them came from Spain. You have your Native American, which the true ones, those really dark-skinned Hispanics, they more so Native American than anything. And then you have your black Hispanic. You got, like I told you before, you have black people around Veracruz, Mexico. A lot of the slaves escaped Texas and other states to come into Mexico because the Mexican army would fight off the slave catchers if they tried to come into Mexico to get them back. So Mexico was a place for black people to be. Even John Horse and the Seminole Indians, when they had left Florida and they went to Oklahoma and they was there for a while, and then them savages broke the treaty, and then now John Horse and the Seminole Indians had to go into Mexico. It was the same thing. Mexico was a haven for black people. Now, when that changed, from what I've heard, it was like more so in the 70s when they was starting to do a lot of deportations and doing a lot of things like that, and everybody kind of in their community got to themselves. You got to understand something. The Caucasian supremacist system have always operated on divide and conquer. That's how they got a lot of us through slavery, divide and conquer. They just didn't wholesale go in there and round up black people in Africa, okay? They have always used that tactic to keep everybody against each other and nobody focus on them. See, yes, they did get some Africans from other African tribes that warred with another African tribe, captured them and say, shoot, they are prisoners anyway, you could have them. But for the most part, they weren't getting enough slaves that way. So what they were doing was coming in, talking about they bringing the good gospel and they're missionaries. And some of them that were captured, I'm talking about from the other tribes, they would say, well, let us have the captured people. They can be our missionary. And we'll teach them the language, we'll teach them the Bible. And then these people start getting little colonies in Africa and using those Africans to collect taxes. Now, these Africans, someone was hustling and collecting more money from the African people than what they was getting. Also, another way the British themselves was doing it, they would give guns to certain African tribes to go attack another tribe. Well, that tribe realized this tribe got guns. Where we getting the guns from? Getting it from them white folks. Oh, man, they're going to make a deal with them and have these Africans killing themselves off. And they come in, they plunder things. That's definitely what happened to the Ashanti kingdom. They plundered that was around Ghana. They took all the gold, took all the resources out of there, took slaves. So it was just a back and forth situation, a divide and conquer, how they got a lot of slaves coming over here to America. And yes, a lot of people say, well, it wasn't just the Caucasian, it was the Jews too. But look, at the end of the day, they Caucasians. They were Caucasians that adopted Judaism. So I don't want to hear nothing about no Jews. So they always try to put blame on them. I say, I guess the Jews are, the smarter Caucasian, I guess. The only thing I can say about it, because you say they own everything and they control everything, I guess they're the smarter one, I guess. Because they're Caucasian just like you. Yeah, they always blame. Oh, you talking about Vicente Guerrero? Yeah, he was the second president of Mexico. Yeah, I know about that. But they, like I said, they don't teach you that in school either, right? And in the situation with California, a lot of you say this stuff in California. And my thing is this: I love to research. I need to really research into how that got started. How did that got started? Because I didn't hear about that going on in the time of the 60s and the Watts riots, and you didn't hear none of that mess. I say I believe them people probably do what they always do, infiltrated, started beefs, and caused them to fight. And now it just continued to snowball on and on and on. And I never understood why people who are oppressed fighting other people who are oppressed. What are you fighting the other group for in California? If you are a Mexican fighting a black, what are you getting out of that? You ain't getting nothing. It's the white folks that are trying to deport you. They just did that. What's that thing they did? Kate's Law? Talk about sanctuary cities. It ain't black people deporting you. You say you may say you hate black people, but who gonna deport your mama? Who gonna deport your grandmama that's been over here legally? It's not us. Who the one talking about came out and said you were rapists and criminals? It wasn't black folks. That's why it's stupid. Why would you fight against somebody that's oppressed? You're not gonna get nothing out of that. If you're gonna deal with something, deal with the one who's oppressing you, not the people that's not oppressing you. That's any group that's trying to fight against black people. What do you get out of that? And the thing is, and these Caucasian supremacist terrorists aren't loyal. They aren't loyal to you. They don't like you. All that butter biscuit eating you was doing too. I'm talking about Asians, Mexicans, Arabs, and even blacks eating butter biscuits. They creating laws every day. Like Trump did, the Supreme Court gave Trump his Muslim ban for now. So now y'all not coming in here. All that butter biscuit eating you was doing too. Not liking blacks. That's what I'm saying. Blacks aren't your enemy. We aren't your enemy. We ain't do you nothing. What you fighting us for? What you targeting us for? We ain't stealing nothing from you. But Mr. Trump, and like I say, I'm talking about California. Mr. Trump is going to straighten all that out. Trust me. That's why I say, because somebody didn't understand what I meant by this. They say, he likes the presidency of Donald Trump. Yes, I do. I'm happy Donald Trump's in office because he's getting everybody in line. He's getting everybody in line. He's showing everybody you ain't part of this. If you not Caucasian, you're not a part of this. I'm getting you out of here. That's the only thing I say in my videos. We not deporting you. We not saying illegal this, illegal that. We not creating Muslim bans. We not doing none of that. That's them. You say Phil got a super chat? Yeah. I have super chat on here. You say the LAPD and Serenos work side by side against blacks out there. Yeah, because they trying to hurt the black population. But understand something. That's a divide and conquer thing. Let's keep the Mexicans and the blacks fighting against each other. And that way, when they're killing off each other, we could just worm in and steal everything from the both of them. That's what they do. I mean, it's classic. It's like the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer. And I told y'all, take that divide and conquer strategy and use it against them. They have a divide too right now. Why don't you play on that like they play on our divisions? They got this left and right stuff so much that they out there going shoot politicians now behind it. They take advantage of our disagreements. Take advantage of theirs. But that's stupid for different groups of people be fighting each other. And like I said, the stuff that's going on in California, and a lot of brothers and sisters told me about that, and I believe them or whatever. I do. Now, here in Texas, I have not ran into those issues. I've been all over Texas and have not run into them issues. I've even been to the valley, down south, close to Mexico, and ain't nothing but them there. And I ain't have a problem. All the cops are Mexican, all the politicians are Mexican, everybody Mexican. Hardly any white folks walking around there, all blacks. So if you're going to have a problem, that'd be the wrong place to be. Didn't have any issues with them. So I just feel more so that's maybe a California thing. I don't know why. But if you say the LAPD is involved with it, that says a lot. Because the LAPD is corrupt as hell. Well, but any police department is corrupt. We know that. They all corrupt. What I think about blacks celebrating the 4th of July? I don't know why they're celebrating it for. July 4th, 1776, your ancestor was enslaved. So why are you celebrating that for? That's stupid. I mean, go out and take advantage of the sales if you want to. Get your holiday pay from work. You know, if then you have the day off, man, take advantage. I'm not saying don't take advantage. But if you want to barbecue and celebrate something, celebrate June 19th. Celebrate. That's your Independence Day. Celebrate that. You got to think about it. When they talk about July 4th, they told black people, listen, if you help us fight against the British, we will let you go of being slaves. So the black people joined with them against the British to help them fight because they were fighting for their freedom by helping them. And what did they do? Did not give them their freedom. So why would you celebrate July 4th when that was the biggest con ever to your African ancestors, to fight for a group of people that probably wouldn't have won against the British if the black man didn't help them? Yes, those are facts. Not even a white man is the one that died for this country first. It was a black man, Christmas Addicts. Research that. Well, everything in the America is a money grab. July 4th, not so much. I guess you get some on Labor Day. What's gonna come next? Halloween. Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that stuff is just money. Has nothing to do with the people. I don't know how Master Whipping Boy is. I haven't talked to him. I don't plan on it unless he reach out. Well, yeah, some of them probably did escape to Canada. I wouldn't say they wouldn't. I mean, I was just reading about the slave revolt in South Carolina that they had just today, and man, let me see what that's. Let me see if I can pull that up. I think this is it. Was this it I was looking at here? Trying to see what there was this slave revolt in South Carolina that I was reading about, the very first one. Let me see if I can pull that back up. It was very interesting to read that. Yeah, the 1739 Slave Rebellion. That's it. And the Stono Rebellion. Yeah, them brothers and sisters, and that Stono, most of the brothers. September 9th, 1739, a band of slaves marched down the road carrying banners that proclaim liberty. They shout out the same word, led by an let's see, hold on. Oh, Angolan man. Okay, this brother's from Angola named Jimmy. The man and the men and women continued. I'm sorry, the sisters were there to walk south, recruiting more slaves along the way. By the time they stopped to rest for the night, the numbers will approach 100. So they talk about what triggered the Stono Rebellion is not clear. Many slaves knew that small groups of runaways had made their way from South Carolina to Florida. So basically they got together and let me see. Let me get down here. I'm trying to read the short version of this. I'm not trying to read the long version of this. Let me see if I can pull it back up. But basically, those brothers and sisters had an uprising, and they said that in the British mainland colonies, and they say they killed close to 50 whites and also 44 blacks were killed in this rebellion. Now, they were just kicking butt and taking names. Because see, slave movies don't tell you about all the rebellions that they had. They want you to think we're docile and we were just, oh my God, and we were slaves until Abraham Lincoln showed up. But they had rebellion after rebellion after rebellion. Those brothers and sisters didn't put up with it. And we was also educated to think that these brothers and sisters just put up with it. But if you want to research it yourself, it's called the Stono Rebellion. It happened in 1739. 1739, if you want to look that up. But them brothers and sisters wasn't playing. They was out there fighting. And, you know, that same spirit is within us too, to fight. Like, we shouldn't take this oppression and not want to stand up for our community. But one thing I liked about those brothers and sisters, they was like, you know what? It's about our families, it's about our freedom, it's about doing for self. We can't beg for our freedom. We can't. Because we tried that and that doesn't work. Yeah, I know about that. About the Haitian one, what Tariq is doing. Yeah. I do believe, yes. I will never stop saying that. I do believe in reparations. I believe in it because they need to pay what they owe. Black people built this country with their own hand. And they need to pay what they owe. What they did to black people for 246 years, 100 years of Jim Crow too. They need to pay what they owe. If they want to give reparations to the so-called Jewish people for something that didn't even happen on American soil, America had nothing to do with it. Nothing. So, but yeah, what happened to us here happened on this soil. And I say this. They always talk about guilt. They're going to continue to feel guilt until they pay that reparation. It's just that simple. Until they and also end racism. Oh, you say 6 states with a shoreline? Yeah, some people some people say we should have a separate nation for ourselves. I do believe that. I believe that, but we definitely got to have the brothers and sisters, the right ones running that, because I don't want to see no Tyrone and Pookie coming to that. I don't want to see them nowhere near that. Now, just like I said before, I think all the ones who feel that they don't want to be around blacks, I'm talking about certain Caucasians, I feel they need their own state. I believe they do. I don't really have an issue with that. But I guarantee you, they say, okay, they give them a state. If they was to give black people a state, I guarantee you they'll still be want to come over there with the black people at. They won't be like, shoot, oh, glad we ain't got to deal with them. No, they'll be coming over there. They'll be coming over there. I promise you. Just like they be going to African nations. They don't stay out of there. And you be like, doggone it, man. I'm in my own state now. You here too? Didn't your state over there? Man, you know what? We need to build a wall. Forget that. Build a wall. You know they'll be coming over. You know that. They won't stay away. They won't. Well, I just want to be like, you got you got your state, man. Go to your state. Enjoy yourself. You get to have baseball games with nothing but Caucasians. Basketball games, everything Caucasian city. Enjoy yourself. And then we'll do our thing and enjoy ourselves. I'm like, I don't see a problem with that. Because one thing I would love to ask Richard Spencer, like, why is it that you don't advocate to go back to Europe? You know, like, because, you know, people like that, like, they don't think it's a solution to go to places where they're at or have something of their own. They want to just terrorize and run amok all over the country. And it shows you that they're not really serious about being for Caucasian people. Because being for Caucasian people be like, look, we got states like Montana. There's hardly any blacks there. Why don't we all mostly go to Montana? Or places like Wyoming, and you know, in certain states it's hardly, I mean, the black population is like this. Why don't you go to those states? And that'd be like an unofficial state for you, because the climate, you know, up there, you know, we don't really do too well with all the snow as black people. That's not us. We more so warmer climate people. Choose those states. Go over there. All your alt-right, you can have all the Confederate flags. Like, I don't get why they don't go to those places. Yeah, we would have to build a wall to keep them out. If we had our own state, we would have to build a wall. We had to build a big Donald Trump wall all the way around our state. And we had to put armed police right there and say, you're not coming in here. What's your business in here? If you don't have no official business in here and you're not going to be escorted by law enforcement to go do what you got to do and come back out, then you don't need to be here. They gonna be like, why? I just want to visit. I want to watch the games. I want to do, like, this is what you wanted. You said that you didn't want us. We need to be away from you. So you gave us our own state. You got your own state. But yeah, they'll be crying holy hell. They probably try to go in with guns to try to just bust in the state, because they mad because they can't go in there. Yeah, you're right. It's a nation state. That's what that's called, a nation state. That's why I said about building a wall. But then you have black people. I'm not going to stay over there in that state. Forget that. I'm staying over here. He dealing with race soldiers, but you won't stay over there. that I already know that. They had to force black people to go to that state. Yeah. You're right. You know what she said? They'd be like, the blacks are in there doing things we can't see. This is racist. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, if we if we anything we talk about doing for self, hey, let's talk about black owned banks. That's racist. Hey, create black businesses. That's racist. Like what? How? Let's create schools as Afrocentric. That's racist. Why is it? Why? How are we promoting our skin as being superior to yours by saying create a school, going to banks, supporting black-owned businesses, doing for self? How is that racist? They never can explain it to you how. But the fact is, we don't want you away from us, so we're going to tell you you're racist. But when you're around us, we're going to say we don't want you around. You're the problem. Yeah, that's the kind of relationship we're going to have. It's like crazy. And I think black people, we have been crazy as hell as a community to even involve ourselves with that. I mean, come on, think about it. You don't want me around, but you want me around. If you dealt with a woman or a man like that, you would say they literally got a mental problem and you would leave. So we need to leave them and say, look, I don't deal with mental problems too well. You can't tell me you don't want me around, but then you want me around. No, that's just not going to work. And we got to stop asking for permission too. Is it okay if I shop at a black business? That's what you usually do. Because if they tell you that's racist, then you go to explaining. Well, no, it's not racist. It's just because we just want to shop at a black business and we just feel better. And it's not like, why are you explaining for? Do they explain to you when they go to NRA meetings and chanting Trump and all they coded? They don't ask you crap. When they build schools, they don't ask you nothing. So why you some of you still have that slave mentality to go, is it okay if I do this, massa? Like that sort of thing. Stop doing that. You don't have to explain nothing to them. Do for yourself. Remember, they say you're on welfare and food stamps. Cool, even though they get more, but cool. Okay, do for yourself. Go over here, do your thing. And when they tell you, well, it's racist, you say, look, at this point in time, nothing you say is relevant and it's null and void. Stop wasting your breath. Go deal with your problems in your community. Go deal with Donald Trump and, the left and right argument y'all got. Leave us the hell alone. We need to fix our problems because we have many. Oh, Lord. Did you just say that to me? Oh, I wish I'd have had that video. Oh my God, I wish I had that video. I wish I could find that video. They had this, you talking about Israel's our homeland. I was gonna do this video, but I forgot to do it. They had these brothers, Hebrew Israelite brothers, right? These brothers was on there talking to two Caucasian females that they were so-called Jew. And they said that they were talking about the scriptures with them in Deuteronomy 28 and all this other stuff. Fine. So they hit them with all them being the Edomites and Esau's descendant and all. Fine. But then they put up a picture. And this is why I have a problem with it. They say, you going to be enslaved. You going to be our slave. This is what he said. And this is what his brother said. And the ones that look the best out of you, you going to be our bed wenches. And I said, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm like, oh man, did he just really contradict all his preaching? If she is the Edomites from the house of Esau, and you just describe who is the 12 tribes of Israel, and all these different groups of women is in the 12 tribes of Israel that you're describing, you saying blacks and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, all these other ones you're saying is in the 12 Native Americans. So you mean to tell me you're not gonna get a woman out of the 12 tribes of Israel, but you're gonna want to lay down with a good looking Edomite that you said it was the devil because she's enslaved? I say, some of y'all brothers got, I say, boy, y'all gotta stop. Y'all have to stop and listen to yourself sometime. I mean, anybody who's listening to you see how you just contradicted yourself. You can't tell me somebody is the devil and then you want to lay down with them. But yet you don't lay down with the 12 tribes of Israel women. Oh boy. I did watch that video. Hopefully it's in my. Let me see if I could if I can find that video for y'all. Hopefully it's in my history. But oh man, I gotta find this video. I'm gonna see if I can find it for y'all. And I want y'all to hear this brother here. I mean, he contradicts himself. He doing all that rah talking about. Hopefully I can find it and I can show it to y'all. But it's been like a freaking. It's been so long since I looked up that video. See, I can't really even do that right now. Let me see here. Let me see. Hopefully. I'm gonna try to find it. Let me see. I'm just going through my playlist right now. Come on, bro. I don't know if it was a week ago. I'm trying, guys, to find that. I'm trying my best. Cause I mean, tell me this stuff here was crazy. What this dude was saying. If I can't find it for some reason, I just have to scroll through this long enough and make a video so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Cause that dude there just contradicted himself so bad. Man, I can't find that right now. Shoot. Let me type in. Let me type it in. Let's see if I can find it. I know the thumbnail when I see it too. If y'all know about the video, let me know what the title it is I'm talking about. But I know. Oh boy. One video says, I've seen that video. Oh man, I wish I could find that video. I'm gonna look. Y'all let me know if y'all can find it. I can't find that video right now. I can't. But I'm just kind of reading what y'all talking about right now. But anyway. Like I say, they was on the street talking to them dudes. Oh, let me see. This was one of them, but this wasn't the one. Let me see. But it was attached to this one. So let me see if I can find it.
Speak Yiddish. You so-called.
Hold on. Oh, that's it. Found it.
For you now is you should be living it up, because these are your.
Hold on. Let me shrink this screen so I can put this up here so y'all can see this. Y'all gotta see this. The video is titled "So-Called Jews Can No Longer Run from the Truth," and the YouTube channel is called Great Millstone Main Camp. So let me okay, that's cool right there. I can do that. Add screen capture. I want y'all to see this. All right, let's see if I can get to that part. Okay, he's holding the sign. Let's start here.
Goddamn ear, a spiritual ear to understand, but go ahead.
Says, he that leadeth into captivity.
Right, he that leadeth into captivity.
Read.
Shall go into captivity.
Shall go into captivity, but hold on. Alright? Her people did this to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Alright? They led you into captivity. They sold you in auctioning blocks. You women that had children, they separated you. Alright? You women that had husbands, they separated you, man. And sold you to one plantation to the next. Her people did that, but then she's talking about love. What about love, man? Alright? First of all, man, peace, alright, wars are not fought by love, alright? When you want to send a message across, you shed blood. Alright, and that's the MO of the so-called white man. He's all about bloodshed, man. But then she want to talk about love. Read on.
Says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, man. Alright, the so-called white man killed you Negroes with the sword, man. Go watch the new Nat Turner flick that came out, man. Alright, you people that still asleep thinking the so-called white man love you. Alright? The so-called white man don't love you Negroes, man. And history shows it, okay? History shows you that countless times. And guess what? History is going to repeat itself, man. Yeah, bro?
Says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Get Genesis 9 and 6. Right, and here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So we have patience that we're going to, by the Spirit of the Lord, because the one who the world called Jesus Christ, he believed in vengeance, man. You think there's a God out there that's just going to allow this to happen and that's it? That's the end of the world? You're just going to grow old and die. Your grandparents were slaves. Your mom suffered from slavery. Now you dead broke because you got nothing. But there's a God though, right? How would a righteous God, how would a just power let that happen? Get Galatians 6 and 7 also. Okay, go ahead.
Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Most High is not mocked.
Right, be not deceived, right? You so-called white people get deceived, man. You thinking what your foreparents did is all done away with, it's swept under the rug. But guess what? The reason why we out here is because the one who you call God, Jesus Christ, is raising up his prophets, man. All right, to wake up his elect, to let you people know America's going down. And the so-called white man is going down, man. All right, and according to history, he has all reason to go down.
Oh, come on. Where them females is at? Maybe I went back too far. Where them females at? He was talking directly to him. There they go right there. Man, I went back too far.
All right, you and the rest of your race of people, you're going to pay for that, man.
That's right.
All right, and how are you going to pay for that? By going into slavery. Your future is going to be slavery.
I have a question.
All right, go ahead. What's your question?
So, from my understanding, throughout history, there have been different people that have been enslaved.
Okay.
Right? So if we're going, I mean, this is weird, but if we're talking about Jews.
If what?
If we're talking about Jews, right?
If you're not Jews?
No. If we're talking about Jews and Jewish history.
Okay, you talking about the real Jews or the fake Jews?
So when were Jews
Are you talking about the real Jews?
fake?
What do you mean when the Jews? First of all, the Jews became fake when it goes back to that Zionist
right, the 6-Day War.
Huh?
67 or 48?
No, the 6-Day War.
You
familiar with the 6-Day War?
Yeah, my grandparents fought.
What did Gamal Abdul Nasser say? You familiar with it, right? He was the prime minister of Egypt at that time.
The second one of Egypt.
You got it.
He's the second president of Egypt. What did he say?
Wait, president or prime minister?
President.
My fault. I misspoke.
What did he say? He said, how can the Jews leave Egypt? I mean, leave Israel white. How could they leave Israel black and go back white? That's what he said. A so-called Arab said that, man.
Wait. How can they leave?
How can they leave Israel black? All right, because first of all, the real Israelites are these people right here.
Jeremiah 14 and 2.
All right, the so-called blacks, the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians are the real Jews. You stole our identity. You going around calling yourself Jew, but you stole our identity. Why? Because going back to the curse of your father Esau, he's not getting the blessing. Your blessing is gonna be slavery. Okay? That's why that whole thing happened with the whole Zionist movement. They try to steal their blessing back, but it's not gonna happen. Yes?
Revelation 2 and 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Okay, I know thy work, tribulation, and poverty. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
But thou art rich. Go ahead. The scripture says, I know your work, tribulation, and poverty, but you're rich. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. Go ahead, read it and read it louder.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
Right, so that's blasphemy. Who is saying they Jews today? Who's saying they Jews? You came up and said you were a Jew.
Negroes ain't saying that.
You said your grandparents are Jew. But the scripture say, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
Are you saying you're
black? What?
Are you saying you're Jewish?
I'm not Jewish, all right? Because ish is a suffix, man. Meaning pertaining to something.
Read the sign.
Your pants is blackish. All right, you can't be ish. There's no ish.
So
you either it or you're not.
Blackish.
I'm not a Jew. I'm a Benjamite. All right, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. Jew is one tribe. Jew is short for Judah.
Yeah, I know. I got the same thing.
Okay. Jew is short for Judah. You take away the DAH.
Right, but
it's short for Judah.
But the term Judaism and Jewish came much
Judaism
later.
is made up.
That's a religion by Kagan Bullen.
I thought it was a nationality.
Listen, the reason why we call it
religion by Kagan Bullen.
Hold on, listen.
But he just said it's nationality.
What'd you say?
Wait, Judaism a religion or nationality?
Judaism is a religion. I said to be a Jew is a nationality. Judaism is made up. Okay?
So Judaism's a made up religion.
Right.
And Jew is a nationality that's real.
To be a Jew,
but
you
a lot
have to
of
be
people are
you have to
faking
be.
it.
Yeah, you're faking it. You're faking it right now.
I'm faking it right now.
Now listen, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the southern tribe, they were considered the Jews. All right? When you say you're the Jew, where's Benjamin and where's Levi? All right? In the scriptures, according to the scriptures, when the tribes were separated, you had Israel. All right? These were known as the tribe of Israel, from Ephraim on down. And then you had Judah to Levi, which were the Jews. Okay, when they went into captivity, they were considered one nation.
My last name is Levi.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what your last name is, man. Your nationality is a biblical Edomite, and your future is slavery. Okay, well, you're looking at your future masters right now.
Yeah,
I know you're an Edomite, and your future is slavery. Give me Lamentations 4:21.
Just because I'm like hairy and blue.
No, it had nothing to do with that. I can tell by your spirit. You're the devil. Why don't you just admit that you're a fake Jew? Why don't you just admit it? You're not gonna admit it. Why? Because you're being deceptive. And to be a devil means to be a deceiver. So you're deceiving everybody, man. Get that real quick.
What about love everybody as you love yourself?
But hold on, give me Romans 13.
That pertains to Israel.
Give me Romans 13 real quick, guys.
Like highlighting the Bible and pulling out some sentences.
If I could, there's something that came out this week, right, with UNESCO.
Yeah, that I'm
votes, no connection. So they're starting to figure out you European, imposters.
I'm not European.
But your ancestors are from Europe.
No.
Where's your grandmother? Turkey. No, your grandparents' parents.
Turkey.
If you do the research, I bet you got European heritage. You guys have no connection to that land. The Palestinians know that. You know it too.
Yup. Right, get Romans 13:10 real quick, because she said, what about love? Leave on this. Go ahead.
No, I don't feel the love.
Love worketh no ill.
Read the
to his
Jewish
neighbor.
encyclopedia.
Right, you so-called white people didn't show love to the so-called African Americans when we came over here. Now you want to talk about love. Why you want to talk about love now? Why is it all about love?
Your people financed the slave trade.
Let me ask you a question. Was this love, yes or no? Was it love, yes or no? I'm talking to you. So what the hell you mean, what about love?
I'm talking about love.
No. What about love? This was not love. Let me tell you something. Our people are still suffering from what happened back in the 1800s, 1900s,
Yes,
man.
no doubt.
Okay, your people are born with the golden spoon in your mouth, man.
Absolutely.
We gotta work for everything we got.
Absolutely.
But guess what? America's not gonna last too long, and you so-called white people are going into slavery. The race of the ones that look good among you are gonna be out bed with you, but you ugly ones, you're gonna be out in the field, man.
That's right.
You heard it? Did you hear it? Hold on. Let me play it back. How far back did he say that?
Okay, your people are born with the golden spoon in your mouth, man.
Absolutely.
We gotta work for everything we got.
Absolutely.
But guess what? America's not gonna last too long, and you so-called white people are going into slavery. The race of the ones that look good among you are gonna be out bed with you, but you ugly ones, you're gonna be out in the field, man.
That's right. You're gonna be breeders. And by the way, the Jewish.
Why did you heard what he said? He said the good looking ones is gonna be the bed wenches, and you're gonna be our breeders. Oh man, he was spot on the whole time he got to that point. I know y'all heard that. Y'all want me to play that again? That he said that? Hold on.
We got. But guess what? America's not gonna last too long, and you so-called white people are going into slavery. The race of the ones that look good among you are gonna be out bed with you, but you ugly ones, you're gonna be out in the field, man.
That's right. You're gonna be breeders. And by the way, the Jewish encyclopedia says that.
All right. That is. Now he was hitting them like I couldn't argue with a lot of things he was saying until he got to that point. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. You can't say they gonna be your bed wenches and your breeders. You gotta fool with a woman of the 12 tribes, my brother. You gotta do it. You can't fool the Edomite just because they look good. These brothers here, man. Y'all. Hey, look, I'm not saying who better, who worse. I know y'all gonna say you need to toss to this and feel like, look, I'm not against nobody. I'm just saying that you should have said that. You can't hit her with, well, y'all done this for hundreds of years to us, and y'all done it. Look, I wasn't even arguing with him. I'm just like, man, yeah, he telling the truth until he got to that part. Come on, brother. Come on. Yeah, Lynette. yeah. Like, you can't be talking like that, but want to lay down with the good looking ones. You can't. Jesus Christ. I just wanted to show y'all that. I've been on here a minute, but yeah. I mean, like I said, I can go on for hours showing y'all certain videos I've seen on here, and just like, man, these people here tripping. They tripping hard. Why is that thumbnail funny? One person said, "Are they moving back to the caves on the thumbnail?" Like, I didn't think about that when I put up the thumbnail. I say, oh, these fans just a white couple, whatever. I ain't think about nothing about them packing up and moving to a cave. Like, y'all be going hard. But anyway, I had to play that for y'all before we wrap this up. But like I said, guys, we got 600 some more people on here. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, please. At Advise Show Media, and also follow us as well on Patreon for $2 or $5 a month to get all the information. That's what we what? Well, y'all be see, I don't talk about them females. What's the name of the video? The name of the video is called "So-Called Jews Can No Longer Run from Truth" by a YouTube channel called Great Millstone, one word, and then the next word, Main Camp. That's the name. That's the name of the video. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get the link. Now I'll put that in the chat room myself. Let me see. Okay, it's right there. Copy. I put it in the chat room. The link to the video, so y'all can watch that stuff yourself. It's like a 15-minute video that you can check out. Boy, but anyway, yeah, that's what they said. But guys, I'm going to get off of here, and anybody who haven't seen the beginning, check it out, and see you next time.